What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings video here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool beat Leicester City by 3-1 to book our place in the fourth round of the League Cup. If you haven't seen it, Liverpool will play Bournemouth in the next round away from home. Some other standout fixtures of the fourth round draw: Manchester United are home to Newcastle and West Ham against Arsenal. But just to confirm, Liverpool are away against Bournemouth. So, my friends, I'm going to do what we always do here, was fly through the team, give them a score out of 10, ask you guys to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you agree or disagree? Of course, we'd love you to drop a like on the video and join the 217 other 1,000 people that have subscribed to Anfield Agenda. We hope you continue to enjoy the content, but we've a lot to go through. So let's start off with Caoimhin Kelleher in goal. And I have to say, it was a very proud moment for me as an Irishman to see Curtis Jones give Caoimhin the captain's armband when he went off later on in the game. Might have only been for a brief moment, but it's very proud to see an Irishman captaining Liverpool. I didn't think Caoimhin had too much to do today, weirdly enough. He was not in any way at fault for the goal, but after that we bossed the game and he didn't really have many other saves to make. So with that in mind, got to give Caoimhin Kelleher a score of 7 out of 10. Moving on now to Curtis Jones, today's captain, and let me say, I thought he was brilliant. I thought, to show the versatility he was able to come in, play in that right back role, pivot into midfield and lead by example. Again, immense credit to Curtis Jones. I think he put in a fine performance today. I have given him a score of 8 out of 10, and I think it could have even been a little bit higher. That's how good I thought Curtis was today. Moving in now to Jarell Quansah. Got himself an assist for the third goal and just looked cool, calm and composed throughout. 20 years of age is really young for a centre-back, but this guy just keep going from strength to strength, and I've no doubt will be a fixture in Liverpool's team for years to come. So with that in mind, what have we given Jarell Quansah today? Well, we gave him a big round number 8 because that's how good we think he was today. If you agree, let us know in the comment section. If you disagree, of course, we'd love to know your thoughts as well. Moving across now to his centre-back partner, Ibrahima Konate. Thought he did well. He had some very good one-on-one defending today. There was one ball over the top. I think it was for Ndidi, if I'm not mistaken. And he stood with him stride for stride. Didn't foul, didn't commit, and came away with the ball. Impressive. I love that from Ibu. And I hope he continues to show this level of form. So what have I given him today out of 10? I've given him a 7, just a little bit less than his teammate alongside him, but again, a very solid performance. We just have to stop conceding those early goals. And speaking of conceding early goals, fresh from signing a new contract this week, it was unfortunately Kostas Tsimikas that was dispossessed for the Leicester goal. I think he was fouled. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but either way, you got to play to the whistle. And he makes me a bit nervy at times, Kostas. He tries to jump in to win the ball ahead of players, and it's great if you get there. If you don't, well then what happened today happens. They're in, they're through behind. And I got to be honest, I didn't think it was the best performance from him today. So with that in mind, I've given him a score of 6 out of 10. Maybe you feel that's a little bit harsh. I think it's a fair reflection of what I've seen. And if we're trying to say that he's going to be challenging Andy Robertson, I think he's got to lift his game a little bit. Endo. He was your man of the match, by the way, in the Anfield Agenda live poll. Romped away with it with 48% of the vote. I think this was a real game of halves for Endo. I think in the first half, he warmed into the game. I don't think he was at his best. Second half, absolutely top-notch performance. And I'm so happy for him. I hope he continues this progression. Definitely has given the manager a selection headache ahead of the game against Spurs. So, what have we given your Anfield Agenda man of the match? We've given him a 9 because he deserves it. Maybe I'm wrong in the first half assessment, by the way. Maybe I seen something different to you guys. But in the second half, I felt like he just sniffed out everything. I thought he was top notch. Hence why he got a score of 9 out of 10. Now we move into Harvey Elliott. And I think, for me, he was my man of the match. If I'm being really honest, I thought Harvey Elliott was exceptional today. He ran the show, popped up all over the park, did everything but score, and probably will wonder how he didn't score. But I wanted players like him and Jones today to show that they're a step above, to show that they don't really belong in this team, that they belong in the first 11. And I think they did that. So for me, I thought Harvey Elliott was brilliant, and I gave him a score of 8 out of 10. Again, let me know in the comment section if you agree or if you disagree. Moving on to Ryan Gravenberch, and look, it's going to take time for Ryan to get to speed with the Premier League, with the pace of the football that we play. I thought he did some very good things today. Obviously, teamed up with Gakpo for the double Dutch goal, which was great. I thought he was a little bit guilty of taking too much out of the ball at times, but he will come good. And I'm glad he's getting minutes, because the more minutes, the more time we can get him on the pitch, the better for us. So what have I given him for a score? I've given him a 7 out of 10, and I think that's a pretty fair assessment of what I've seen anyway from Ryan Gravenberch today. Moving ahead, Ben Doak. Look, it's been a tough week for Ben Doak. I don't think he covered himself in much glory away in the Europa League game, and today he should have had a goal in the first half and never really recovered from missing that opportunity. But that's okay. He's such a young kid. There are going to be ups and downs from him in his journey, and it's our job to just stay behind him and to show faith in him. He'll know what he needs to work on, and I've no doubts about his long-term future at the club. But he will be a little bit unhappy not to have scored today, and I'm trying to be fair with my assessment, so I've given him the same as Kostas, a score of 6 out of 10. Doesn't in any way reflect the guy's potential. I think he will come good, but I'm trying to be fair in my assessments, and I think a 6 out of 10 today was a pretty fair score for him. Moving on to Diogo Jota. Got a goal, and a very good goal. If you haven't seen it, it was a beautiful flick from behind his body into the far corner. I do think he was guilty of wasting possession at times in the first half. He kept trying to cut inside when there was space around the outside. But with Jota, you got to take the good with the bad. There will be things that frustrate you, but then you get the moments like that goal where, I've said it before, I will say it again, the man is an assassin in the penalty area. So for Diogo Jota, I've given him a score of 7 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree. And also, would you have Diogo in your starting 11 for the game against Spurs? Now we move on to Cody Gakpo. Obviously came in today through the centre to replace Darwin Nunez. Got himself a goal, the equaliser, very tidy finish. If you haven't seen it, basically he received the ball from Gravenberch with his back to goal, dropped his left shoulder, swivelled and tucked it into the corner. He's just a tidy footballer. Very good at linking up play between the lines as well. So for Cody today, we've given him a score of 7 out of 10. Again, let us know if you agree or disagree. And do you think he's got a shout to be in with a starting 11 place against Spurs? Moving on now to this man. And if you have not seen his goal, well, you're in for a treat. You could have had 3 goalkeepers in and none of them are saving it. He got the ball about 25 yards out on his right foot and like a rocket into the top corner. It was beautiful. 2-1, turns around to the Kop, receives the adulation he deserves, and I cannot say enough good things about Dominik Szoboszlai. We all love him, and this is, well, dare I say it was Stevie G-esque. So, what score do we give Dom? Well, of course he gets an 8, the same as his number. Might have been a brief cameo off the bench. What a cameo, what a goal, what a player. Dominik Szoboszlai, take a bow, my friend. Moving on to Darwin Nunez. Brilliant when it came on, by the way. You know, he had a really good chance that he kind of carved himself with a very good timed run, cut across to the edge of the box, tried to pick out the keeper's bottom left-hand corner, dragged it about a half a yard wide, but he's full of confidence at the minute, and I think it would be ludicrous not to start him in the game coming up against Spurs at the weekend. For me, he's got to be a starter. I hope you guys agree. With that in mind, we gave him a score of 7 out of 10 because, well, he didn't have too long to really impact the game. So, not trying to be too harsh on him, but I think that's a fair score. Now we move on to Bajcetic, who, I got to be honest, I was a bit confused as to why he didn't start today. I thought we were going to see a similar position for him that we seen away against Lask in the Europa League, coming on at right back and drifting into the centre. He did come on later on in the game, good to get some more minutes, into his legs as he comes back from injury. He's playing a little bit of catch-up this season, having a later pre-season. So, with that in mind, and his very brief cameo today, gave him a score of 7 out of 10. Much like Ben Doak, I've got no doubts about this young man's future, and I think he will be fighting with Endo and Gravenberch for that number 6 position as the season goes on. The gaffer though, the big one, the one that we've added to our player ratings actually as the weeks have gone by, I think Jurgen got everything right today. I don't really have any complaints about the 11 he went with. In fact, it was 10 of the 11 that I predicted he was going to go with. And the only change maybe was I probably would have had Bajcetic playing at right back just to give him minutes, but I'm not going to complain about it. Jurgen got the players to turn it around at half time. He's like all of us, he's going to be frustrated at having conceded first again, but the guy showed the fight, the stomach, the heart, the desire to turn it around, and we got our, as is customary now, 3-1 victory. So Jurgen gets a score of 8 out of 10. That's our player ratings, my friends. It is now over to you to let us know your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comment section. Of course, we will be back for a watch along of the Spurs game starting from 4:30 this Saturday. Hope you can join us for that. Now it's over to you to let us know your thoughts on the ratings. Thank you for your support. We hope you've enjoyed the content. If you have, please do drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. Much love, my friends. Catch up with you soon.